Oops, there's the first knock on the stock. Well, I had a bit of time today, so decided to come down to this dairy farm I've got permission to shoot over. I have the HW97 with me today, so we're on spring power, and I'm hoping to get a magpie or a jackdaw or two that come into the shed to feed on the meal that's mixed up into the silage to feed the cattle. Now, the meal is there to feed the cattle, not the birds, plus the fact that the birds are coming in, tramping through the silage and the meal and dunging in it and on the bars. You might say, well, the place is full of cow dung, how's this going to cause a problem? Well, the birds are coming in from an outside source, so you don't know where they've been or what they might be carrying. It's not long before the birds start to come back, even after the disturbance I've made while setting up. But they're landing on the wall outside and then dropping down out of sight in the feed ride, where I can't get a shot at them. If possible, I'd much rather shoot them inside the shed, because it's far easier to pick them up without the other birds outside seeing you. But the birds aren't obliging me at the minute. Since I'm missing these opportunities, I'm having to recock the rifle to reset the safety catch each time. But I decided to walk over to the feed ride to see what the birds were doing. I actually wasn't expecting the birds not to notice me, as the shed here is quite light with a hole in the doorway behind me. But when I got there, the birds were merrily feeding away, oblivious to me, about 25 yards away. And I took one of the jackdaws with a shot to the heart. I quickly reloaded again, as I could hear the birds outside were kicking up a bit of a racket, so there was a good opportunity that another bird would land nearby to see what was wrong with the one I just shot. And sure enough, a magpie landed on the wall. I was feeling confident and went for a headshot, and love to say that was it, one shot, one kill, but unfortunately I needed a second shot to finish the job, but the magpie was put in the bag at the end of the day. So I went forward to lift the birds I'd shot, so they didn't put off any incoming birds, and then got myself set back up on the wall again. I'm using the little ATN Shot Trak camera mounted on top of the scope, and I'm tracking this magpie, hoping to get an opportunity at a shot. When he makes things so much easier for me and flies into the shed. I held my fire at this point because all his vitals was in line with the water pipe behind him, but as soon as he turned, I dropped him with a shot to the heart and lungs. I've been watching these three jackdaws for a few minutes now. They've landed on the electrical conduit, just sitting below the edge of the roof timbers, but I can't see enough of them to get a clear shot at their vitals. I hold my time and hope that one of them moves further on into the shed to give me a much easier shot. But unfortunately, they've had enough, or they've maybe seen me move and clear off. It's not long before the magpies start coming back onto the wall again, but they're doing the same deal again, flitting down into the doorway where I can't get a shot at them. But my patience pays off, and I spot a magpie that's worked its way up the feed ride. He's only about 10 yards away, and I take him with a shot to the chest. He got about 5 yards and dropped into the silage. Now, the ATN Shot Trak has performed faultlessly up to now, but here it let me down. I'm just after shooting a magpie off of that wall in the background, but unfortunately didn't get the footage, but thankfully got the footage for the second magpie. The ATN refused to switch off after the shot, so I had to unscrew the battery compartment to get the unit to stop recording. This in turn seemed to delete that particular file. Whether or not the recoil from a spring-powered air rifle is starting to tell on the unit, I don't know. I was just after putting a brand new battery into the unit, as it was indicating the power was low. Whether that had anything to do with it or not, I don't know. I'll have to investigate a little further. So, as usual, the farm cats were offered the fruits of my labour for the morning. But they didn't seem as hungry as usual. Either that or they just don't like magpie. Can't blame them really. As an update, I replaced the battery in the ATN Shot Trak with a brand new Duracell battery, fitted it to the spring gun and took it to the range, where it worked faultlessly. It switched on and off with no problems at all, even with the recoil, and recorded perfect footage. So hopefully it was a bad battery that was at fault, and I should have no more problems from now on.